Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for today. This one's going to be doing another video for The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, the Book of Carol Season 2. Now that we're about midway through Season 1, I definitely want to do this one, which we're going to be discussing whether or not we think Daryl Dixon Season 2 is better or worse than Season 1. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, the Book of Carol Season 2. We're going to be talking about Season 1, we're going to be talking about Season 2, and we're going to be comparing these so far and the direction of both of these seasons of Daryl Dixon, and obviously going through some of your fan feedback and your thoughts on this as well, because here's the thing with a topic like this, is that I think it's very objective to look at the fan, reception, the fan feedback, because obviously, Daryl Dixon is one thing with the fans, but it's also one thing to kind of see where everybody stands on this, because I've seen a lot of interesting reactions from people online about this season, about, their thoughts on this. I've seen different reviews for this season, and yeah, there's a lot of interesting opinions kind of going around this season, so I'm going to kind of combine that into this video and discuss whether or not I think that this is truly a better season than Season 1, or if it's not quite living up to that standard that Season 1 set for the show and set for the, the franchise in general, because Season 1 of Daryl Dixon, I think a lot of people could agree, is one of the most shockingly good seasons of the franchise. I remember going through the advertising for Season 1 of Daryl Dixon being like, oh my god, I don't know if I could watch this, it just looks so stupid, I remember I said that, and then kicking myself a few months later when it came out, I was like, oh shoot, okay, this is actually really good, alright, dang, okay, so then I kind of took a step back and I was like, okay, this is actually really good, but now the problem stands. Season 2, I was actually really excited for in the advertising. I thought the trailers for Season 2 and the teasers and all this other stuff was really good. I thought it, really made the season look fantastic. It really made it look exciting. And after seeing Season 2 all the way through, now obviously I've seen all of Season 2. You guys have only seen the first 3 episodes because, like I said, Paramount did that screw up a few weeks ago and stuff like that. But that's besides the point. Just comparing the first 3 episodes for a minute, because we will revisit this topic once Season 2 comes to an end. But at least for right now, what do I think is a stronger start to a season? The first 3 episodes of Season 1 or the first 3 episodes of Season 2? And obviously you can let me know in the comments what you think is better. In my opinion, and I can say this based off of the fan reception, there are a lot of people that are telling me that Season 1 is better. Now, whether or not I agree with that, let's kind of look at this objectively here. Episode 1 of Season 1 or Episode 1 of Season 2. I easily would go with, if you see my review for Season 2, Episode 1, you'd know this. I was much more intrigued with 101 than I was with 201. And that's funny because it is kind of a similar episode if you think about it. Daryl solo on his own, trying to figure out how he's going to get to a certain place, and that's basically the story of the first episode. Also, the first episode of Season 2 is Carol, and she's out there, trying to figure out how she's going to get to a certain place and stuff like that. The concepts are very similar if you think about it. I'm not sure many people are really going to look at it that way, but that's, at least in my opinion, I think the concepts of both episodes are very similar. Meeting new characters that bring them in, save their lives, they got, people they care about to get back to, stuff like that. It's a very similar concept, and I think that might actually be, what didn't work about the Season 2 premiere in comparison to 101. 101 was in a new setting. It was in France, it had new characters, it had new environments, it had a nun compound, it had everything. Carol in Season 2 Episode 1 is at this very small, cabin location with this character named Ash, and that's basically that. And I do think that that's kind of what weighs that one down, is that it's like there's not as many characters to go around, and the episode is about the same length as the Season 1 premiere. You know what I'm saying? So people are a little bit more drawn to the new setting, and people are a little bit more drawn to the new characters, and we did have, a group of villains too, with Kodra and all that stuff. We don't really have a group of villains in Season 2, Episode 1, aside from minor stuff with Daryl's crew, spliced in there near the end, but that's about it. So I completely understand why people would prefer the Season 1 premiere over the Season 2 premiere. And I definitely do. I gave the Season 2 premiere a 7 out of 10, and I gave the Season 1 premiere, I think I gave it a perfect 10 out of 10. Yeah, and I still stand on that too. I thought it was perfect. Now, moving on to Episode 2, I would say that 102, where you get the outbreak with Isabel, you get the reveal of Laurent being born through a walker, his zombified mother. You get the kids, you get that stuff, you got Father Daryl, you got some exciting stuff going on there with the backstory kind of spliced in. That's a really, really good episode. Meanwhile, you've got season 2, episode 2, which is about Carol landing in Greenland for some of it. Did not like that plot, as you guys saw. I did not enjoy that storyline whatsoever. We also had minor stuff going on with Laurent and stuff, where you found out that he got captured, but then it's not really, because Lozang actually took him and stuff like that, and he's, going to be using him for, a walker bite, an experiment to see if Laurent really is the chosen one. I think enough said. Season 1, episode 2 is a lot more interesting than the chosen one kid and the Greenland storyline and all that other stuff. It's 202, I think, is pretty good. I think 202 is pretty good, but I think 102 is like master class level. Like, I would call 102 a absolute work of art. I love that episode. Meanwhile, 202 I thought was good. It's a good episode. Now 203 versus 103. Now, 103, we had Daryl in the club. We had Quinn's reintroduction to the story. We had a few things. We had, the crazy guy at the beginning and stuff. You had Daryl versus Codron, which I thought was a good fight. That was a solid episode. I like that one. That was a good one. Meanwhile, you've got 203, which is the backstory of Madame Genet, which was fantastic. You get to see the outbreak once more. Definitely a bit more special when you had the Isabel point of view, but this one was still good, I thought. It added to the tragedy. I heard people saying that they didn't want to see Genet's backstory, like they didn't like the idea of seeing that. I personally disagree. I think it's a great idea because you got to develop your character. If you don't develop Genet, if you don't develop who she really is, then why should we care about her at all? You know what I'm saying? I'm a big believer that if you want to make people care about a character, you got to give them background. You got to give them a story. Hell, maybe even put them in their shoes a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Really confuse the viewers. I think that's how writing should be done, because then you're like, oh, but she went through this, and then this person went through this. That's the type of writing I think that's really brilliant, if it's done right, of course. But yeah, that stuff was fantastic. I loved her backstory. I love seeing that. They didn't drag it out, too. They got right to the point with it. And then the Carol stuff was great, too. You know what I mean? With Genet and seeing her interact with her. The escape attempt, which was good. You had a masterfully done shootout with Daryl and them in the nest, trying to get Laurent out and stuff like that. Daryl fighting like 10 guys in a one-take shot. You know what I mean? Great stuff there. And a big cliffhanger, too, as Carol's in this crowd of people that they're about to light up and stuff. I think point being, Season 2, Episode 3, I think is significantly better than 103 of Season 1. So that's 2 episodes that are better in Season 1 and 1 episode that I think so far is better in Season 2. Obviously, that's just my opinion, though. Let me know your perspective on that whole thing. But this is what I would say so far. I think Season 1, just quality-wise, is ahead than Season 2. And I'll tell you why. Is because, here's the thing, right? You're looking at Season 1, you're looking at Season 2. I would definitely say this. I don't see that special spark of this new location with these new rules. Also, I don't think they're focusing enough on the variant walkers, which was a massive pull for people in Season 1. Genet and her group and everything that they stand for, though we know that they're doing the variant walkers and we've seen them shoot people and then, inject them and stuff, Season 2 has significantly decreased the level of suspense when it comes to those walkers, those insane serum walkers. I can't say we've seen anything massive about them so far. Obviously, there's still 3 more episodes that are left, but I'll say this, Season 2 underdevelops the hell out of those walkers, if you ask me, whereas in Season 1, it was like the main focus, which I think is what made Season 1 so exciting, One of the reasons why people love the original Walking Dead in the early seasons so much is because the walkers were the threat, and the walkers were a real problem, and Daryl Season 1 really brought that vibe back to the franchise. It was like, oh my god, like these walkers are gonna kill so many people, And so far in Season 2, I can't really say it's lived up to that hype. It's almost like, okay, they're there, but it's more so about, the prophecy and Lozang and all this other stuff where it's not really about what they built up the entire time, So that's just my opinion on that whole thing. So Season 2, I think, is definitely a bit of a step down compared to Season 1. I also think that everything to do with Carol this season has been just okay for me. I think episode 3 was really good for her, but I didn't really care about Carol's storyline in episode 2. I didn't really care about it too much in episode 1. Her stuff feels very like, can we get to the point? I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way, but that's what I think of every time I see Carol this season, is like, can we get to the point? You know what I mean? Whereas with Daryl, I'm having a good enough time with it. I think Daryl's having some good stuff, some good action sequences, and I think it's really good. Is it the storyline that I personally think is the best for the show so far? Not really, but it's good. I think it's a good storyline. I think it's good enough. I think it's entertaining, you know what I mean? And in episode 3, I thought it worked very well. So that's kind of my stance on that. But yeah, that's overall what I'd have to say about it. Daryl Dixon, season 2, I don't think is living up to the season 1 hype and, overall stuff. But it's solid TV. I think it's good. I think it's enjoyable stuff. I don't think there's anything too major that's like wrong with it to where it's like, oh my god, this isn't good. Like, it's good. I think a lot of the people that tell me that it's not good, because I have heard people that say like, oh, season 2 is not good. I would say that there are elements of this season that are not good, but I'd still say overall I'm enjoying it. That's just me personally though. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think about Daryl season 2? Do you think it's better or worse than season 1? Would love to hear from you. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click to subscribe and tune in to any other videos of The Walking Dead. Sure, follow me at Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys very soon for more videos of The Walking Dead universe. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies did a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a straight fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.